take great pleasure in welcoming the leader of the defenders at Sandokan, the guy with the elite aerial ability, Vic Metro's brick wall, Jakob Anderson. Good to have you on, mate.
Thanks, LJ. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure to meet you. Well, Jakob, first things first, you came off Sunday against SA with an injury. How are you now, mate?
Yeah, not too bad. Just had a bit of a knock to the ribs. Was a marking contest at first, and then one of their small forwards nailed me in a tackle, and kind of just got down in the rib area. So looks to be just rib bruising at the moment. Hopefully no fractures, but we'll find out a little bit later in the week. But just managing the pain at the moment, but it's not too bad. Hoping to be back within the next 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah, hopefully. Fingers crossed, mate. All right, mate. I know you're carving it up now, but what was the young Jakob like? Have you always played in the back line?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't think as a kid you really imagine yourself playing as a defender, more of the mid kicking goals or a bit of a forward. But as I transitioned through the elite programs in the Sandy Dragons and even interleague back in the day, there are lots of good midfielders. So I thought I'd give myself a better chance of being picked for sides if I was playing in the back line. So tried to develop my defensive craft, and some of my skills suited the role anyway with my intercept marking and kicking. So it's kind of worked out well, and love the role now.
Do you see being a defender in your future?
I think so, yeah. I like to model myself on some of the best defenders in the AFL, like Luke Ryan from the Freo Dockers. But I can see myself maybe playing a wing role or something like that in the future as well, which I've kind of dabbled in a little bit. But maybe a bit of wing as well. But I think defensive, being in the back line is probably where I'm best suited at the moment.
Yes, I love my wings. You moved to Haileybury in year 10. Is there any truth in the rumour that you went there because you were missing not seeing Ollie Houghton every day?
To be honest, I probably didn't know Ollie super well back then. We've gelled probably because I did make the move to Haileybury. I did move in year 10, moved from St. Bede's, and as much as I miss the Beta boys, it's been a really good move. We've got Matthew Lloyd, the ex-Essendon legend, coaching us, and we've got an abundance of other great coaches as well. The resources are fantastic, it's a great school to be at for the education and the footy as well. But in terms of Ollie, it's been awesome getting to hang out with him every day at Haileybury and at the Dragons. So that's been a bit of a bonus.
Yeah, it was a big move though. How'd you handle it at first?
It was a little bit difficult at the time. Obviously, I was pretty comfortable at St. Bede's, had lots of mates there, so could have easily stayed. But it was an opportunity that was too good to refuse. So decided to make the move. Don't regret it at all.
Yeah, good mate. Now, little birdies tell me you're the main man on campus. Is this true? They say your leadership for the younger blokes in your school team is elite. Is it something you pride yourself on?
Geez, you do your homework well, LJ. Don't know how you're hearing this stuff, mate. It is definitely something I like to pride myself on, especially with such a young group this year. I made it a big focus of mine to get around the younger guys and try and create a welcoming and really, just a great environment for everyone to be involved in. Creating connections with the younger lads has been super important for me this year, not only in the footy program, but as captain of sport as well. I've tried to break away from just hanging out with kids that play footy. It's important to get around all the people at the school. So, just been trying to create a really great school environment, but a good footy environment as well.
Yeah, and leadership is a great quality, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's probably, if you want to make that leap to more professional levels, I think it's essential to have some leadership qualities about you.
Yeah, definitely. So you play for the star-studded Sandy Dragons, who are on the edge of finals, and let's be honest, with a list like that, missing finals isn't an option. So when do you guys get back to playing NAB and sealing up the final spot?
We've got 4 more weeks of APS footy. So we'll be back at our NAB League programs after this 4 weeks of the APS season. As you said, it's a pretty strong list. Lots of very talented players. We'll be looking to push our way up the ladder, especially as we have more players come back into the side, but it's always tricky with NAB League with players coming in and out because of the school footy programs as well. So as we get players back, I think you'll see us shoot up the ladder a bit more.
Yeah, it definitely is pretty tricky, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It can be a bit of a struggle, especially with the connection element as well, just trying to keep everyone connected when we're moving around the place all the time. So that's been a bit of a struggle as well.
Yeah, that is true. Now, you play with people like Will Ashcroft, Harry Sheasel, Cam McKenzie, and of course, Ollie. What is it like playing with so many guys destined for the big leagues?
It's pretty awesome. Spent heaps of time with them for years now. We get to train with each other a couple times a week, which is pretty cool. I feel like I'm at training with the best. So it's definitely challenging at times, but I think when in that challenging, when you're challenging yourself at training, that's when it makes some game scenarios easier. And I feel like I've definitely improved as a player because of the players around me at Dragons as well.
Yeah, and training hard just makes the training better, isn't that right?
Oh, absolutely. With players like that, the standards are driven that much higher because of the players they are and the standards they have. So it filters throughout the whole group, and training, it's definitely elite.
Yeah. I read that you suffered a bit of a viral infection not long ago. That didn't sound good. As if COVID wasn't bad enough. What was going on there? I mean, keeping you out of the game. It must have been pretty nasty.
It was pretty annoying. I played a couple games with the flu. It was just traveling around school. Nearly everyone was getting it, and found its way to me. So played a couple games with the flu, which it's probably the sickest I've ever been. I was feeling pretty unwell, and then was super unlucky. I got gastro the following week, so I had a 4-week stretch where I was pretty much just struggling to get out of bed. So I definitely wasn't helping my footy out. I lost a bit of weight as well because of the illness. So that was another little hurdle to jump, but I'm completely fine now. Recovered well and loving footy, mate. It's great to be back, feeling 100%.
Awesome. How did you play when you had the flu?
I was playing down back, so
Yeah.
wasn't probably running off half back too much to create, to get involved in offense. Was more just trying to do my job down back and limit the Ks on the GPS because I wasn't feeling up to it. But we were coming up against some strong sides, so I just had to put my best foot forward for the team, which is what I did, and managed to get through.
Yeah, good. Now, you guys smashed my SA boys, and you have just one game to go in a month versus the arch enemies, Vic Country. Even cooler that it's like a grand final now. How pumped are you for that, and what is it like playing in the champs?
It's definitely surreal playing in the champs. It's something I dreamt of probably since I was your age, mate. It's such a cool experience playing for your state with such good players around you as well, and incredible coaching staff. And as you said, the last game, which I think is on September 23. So we got a little bit of a break, but I think it'll help with the build up. As you said, it's like a grand final. So it's going to be a big day. We're not sure where we're playing it yet, but hopefully it's at the G or Marvel or something like that. Can get a bit of a crowd in, and hopefully Metro can get the job done over country. But there's a fair bit of footy to play in between that still. So just focus on getting back to school footy and back to my NAB League program, and build some good form again back into hopefully playing that game against country.
Yeah, and it would be good to play at the G or Marvel, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be pretty cool. We played at GMHBA on the weekend, but I only got the half in because of the rib injury. So it'd be nice to play a full game out on a ground like that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so on to your footy. Let's tell people what they get from you. An athletic, tall rebound defender who, in my opinion, could just easily move up forward or run down the wing. A guy who has elite leadership ability and is like a general down back. Add to that an amazing pair of hands who can intercept mark with ease. A nice kick who can run hard when needed. Quite the package, aren't you? What are the areas of improvement for you, mate?
Wow, kind words, mate. Appreciate that. For me, probably the improvements I see is just using my weapons a bit more. So I've always seen myself as a really damaging kick. And the role I'm playing down back, I'd love to utilise that a little bit more. Work on my offensive running patterns to get a little bit more of the footy. I think I usually get around that 15, kind of 14 to 18 touch mark. So if I could break that kind of push into the 20 touches, I think I could be a lot more damaging. I'm pretty happy with how I'm going with my one-on-ones defensively. Obviously, there's always room to improve, and I'll keep focusing on my defensive craft. As being a defender, it's first and foremost that I'm trying to stop my man. But yeah, getting involved on offense would be a little bit more, would definitely be a focus of mine for the rest of the year.
Yeah, always something to improve on.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so you were compared to Stephen May without the fighting teammates bit. That's quite the rap. He's an elite defender. Do you model yourself on anyone in particular?
Yeah, I really appreciated that comparison. It's not one I've heard before, so
Oh, yeah.
yeah, it was nice to hear. He's an unreal player. But someone I probably model my game on a lot is Luke Ryan. I'm a Fremantle supporter, so he is similar height to me, plays on those taller and smaller forwards as well. So I've tried to model my game on him and his ability to read the ball in the air, peel off his man, intercept mark. And he's also a really damaging kick, especially out of kick outs, and rebounding the rebound 50s as well. So he's probably one that I watch a lot and try and base my game off.
Yeah, and he's a great player, isn't he?
Oh, he's unreal. He's probably he had an All-Australian year a few years ago, and I reckon he's a bit underrated this year. He's still playing really good footy, but he hasn't probably been getting as much recognition.
Yeah. Okay, so let's find out a bit more about you away from footy. What do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah, I guess away from footy, I love going out for a coffee or two in the morning with a couple of mates. Love going out to breakfasts and dinners. To probably spend a bit too much money at cafes at the moment. What else do I like to do? Like to play a little bit of golf. I work at a golf course, so play 9 or 18 holes when I can. And don't mind probably a bit of YouTube as well, mate. I watch theme park vlogs, which is probably a bit different, but like people going to Disneyland and that. So I watch a few of those as well, which is probably not an answer you've had before, but that's something I'm into as well.
Awesome. I've been to Disneyland. It's pretty cool. Have you been there before?
I'm jealous, mate. I've never been. Mum and Dad, we haven't made the trip, but that'll definitely be it's definitely on the bucket list for when I can go on my own. Well, probably I'll go with a couple of mates or something, but yeah, I'll probably, in a few years.
Awesome, mate. What sport do you do in your spare time?
Probably just footy now. Now that it's getting to that pointy end, I don't really play too many other sports. I did play a little bit of cricket though with Ollie. I think he mentioned it last night in your interview with him. But we played fifth cricket together this year, so that was the first time I played cricket in a while. So it's probably cricket. It's the only other sport. Oh, and golf, which I mentioned as well. So a little bit of golf too. Yeah.
You reckon you're better at Ollie than cricket? At cricket, sorry.
I think I'd have him covered in cricket. Yeah, mate. I reckon I'd have him covered there.
Yes. Good to get him back, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you weren't a footballer, what other career would you pursue?
It's a good question. I reckon maybe something to do with journalism. I don't mind writing. So maybe a journalist, something like that. But also being in the environment I'm in this year, talking to managers and things like that, something like to do with sports management would interest me as well. I've found that, I've been looking into that a little bit over the last few weeks, and that's probably something I'd look into as well. Maybe doing a uni course in sports management and seeing if I could find a role in that field. Yeah,
you got some getting A's on your English grades?
Yeah, I'll try and get some A's in English. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's good, mate. A few easy footy questions. Best player you have had to stand recently?
Played on Blake Drury against the Oakley Chargers when we played them round 1. So that was a little bit ago, but he was a tough forward to play on. He just doesn't stop running, and his running patterns are pretty, they're pretty special. He's runs up really hard up the field and rips back to goal. So he's one that's pretty hard to play on. Yeah.
A guy you think might make the AFL, but is not spoken about as much?
There's probably two that come to mind there. A fellow Haileybury boy, Harrison Jones, for the Dandenong Stingrays. He's kicked 5 goals in the last 2 games he's played, so he's definitely in some good form. And then Lockie Benton, an overager at the Dragons. He was overlooked last year, but I think he's had 30 touches the last 4 weeks or something off the half-back flank. So he can play mid, he can play a little bit of backline as well. And I'd love to see him get his opportunity.
Geez, some good efforts there. If you could have an AFL player over for dinner, who would you choose?
Have to be Nat Fyfe. He's definitely a leader. I like to learn off. He's a great speaker as well. And he hasn't been able to probably get his best footy on the park just because of injuries recently. But when he was at his best, he was unbelievable to watch. So I'd love to chat to Fyfey and learn a bit off him.
Okay, for a bit of fun, you or Ollie Houghton quiz. Time for you to get your right of reply.
Here we go. Been keen for this.
All right, here we go. Who would spend more time getting dressed for a night out?
Look, to be totally honest, I'd have to probably say me. I reckon I'd spend a bit more time on my hair than Ollie.
That's all right. That's not a payout.
Yeah, no, being honest, it'd have to be me.
Yeah. Who's the smartest?
That one is probably me. I do my best in my studies. He does as well, but I've probably got him there. Just.
Who would win a game of golf?
We haven't played each other, so that's probably a tough one. He'd probably hit it further than me.
Yep.
But I reckon I'd have a little bit more touch around the green. So I reckon it'd be pretty even, but I'll lean towards Ollie. I'll give him that one.
Oh, too humble. 1-on-1 in basketball, who wins? Because I have it from the horse's mouth. You wouldn't win a point in a game to 21.
I think I'd definitely jag at least 1 point. But I've seen Ollie play, and he's actually he could probably make the switch to basketball if he wanted. He's an unbelievable shooter. So Ollie would definitely have me there. But I'd get at least a couple layups, I reckon, for sure.
Get a few sneaky shots, I reckon.
Yeah, I'd do something. I'd pull a trick or something and just get an easy one under the basket.
All right, here's one. Who does the best with the ladies?
Oh, look, he'll be flat if I don't say him. So I'll say Ollie because he does have a girlfriend and I don't. So probably have to give him that one.
You haven't seen each other for 2 weeks. Who calls first?
I reckon I'd give him a call first. I'd check up on him, see how he's going.
Oh, he did say you would, so.
Yeah, I reckon that one. I reckon I'd do that one.
Yeah. It has been amazing to chat with elite young defender Jakob Anderson. All the best for the next month or two, mate, and can't wait to see where you head draft time. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, mate. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
It's great to have you on.